During the president's remarks, President Trump doubled down on blaming, quote, both sides of the conflict in Charlottesville.
I will tell you something. I watched those very closely, much more closely than you people watched it. And you have you had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now. You had a group on the other side that came charging in without a permit, and they were very, very violent.
CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington. Paula, President Trump seemed to walk back some of his comments from Monday condemning specific hate groups, once again saying that there was violence on, quote, both sides. You were actually there on the ground throughout Saturday, throughout Sunday. What is it that you witnessed when you were in Charlottesville?
Elaine, let's be clear. This was not the Sharks and the Jets meeting on sort of even footing. This was a white supremacist rally. The white supremacists got the permit. They fought the city to keep it in this specific park, even though it was a small park. We showed up 2 hours before the rally was expected to start, and there was an enormous number of Confederate and white supremacist flags flying in the park. For every one counter-protester flag, we'd see about 10 or 15 white supremacist or Confederate flags. There were absolutely counter-protesters there to demonstrate against the white supremacists, and they were a diverse group. There were many clergy groups that came, there were students, there were residents, and there were also groups like the anti-fascists, and they probably were there to cause trouble. Some of them were armed, but there's just no equivalency. This was a white supremacist rally. There were white supremacists marching in straight lines with helmets and shields. They were the ones, when we got there 2 hours early, appeared to have control over the park. And over the course of an hour, this pretty much dissolved into chaos, with both sides sort of lobbing water bottles and there were chemical agents being dispersed. But to say there were two sides that were in any way equal in number or armament is just not true.
So, Paula, you touched on this, and the president also noted that the white supremacists did have a permit to gather. What more can you tell us about that?
This rally had been a long time coming. There have actually been a few white supremacist rallies in Charlottesville so far this summer, mostly to protest the city's efforts to take down some of these Confederate statues. We attended a KKK rally about 6 weeks ago, and then we attended this one as well. But this one was known to be one of the largest. They were expecting one of the largest turnouts of white supremacists in nearly a decade, and they got a permit for that date for the park where the statue stands. But Elaine, the city fought them. The city wanted to move the protests to a larger park where the police believe they could do a better job of keeping people safe. Because at that earlier KKK rally about last month, there were about 40 KKK members who showed up and about 1,000 counter-protesters, but the space that they occupied, the police were able to keep them separate. But a number this big, the police said they couldn't handle that in Emancipation Park. The judge sided with the white supremacists, saying they had a free speech right to be in that park and protest the statue, and we all saw the result on Saturday.
All right, Paula Reid in Washington for us. Paula, thank you.